Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's quite incredible to take on a role, of course, playing Jesus, iconic to the world, not only as a character, but of course the anchor for so many people's faith. Why did you want to step into the role of Jesus?
It was a job at first. I think it came at a time in my life where I really needed the work. I needed this character to kind of help me get through what I was going through in my life. And I had a bit of prep playing Jesus with a few short films with Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen, and then one other project prior to that, like a year before. Before the actual series, before I met Dallas, about 6 months before The Chosen, it was like 4.5 years before. So I had a bit of practice, and I just also kind of kept getting the nudge that this was something that was going to be significant in my life. But as an actor, as I said, you're always looking for the next job, and this was, I had a guaranteed 4 episodes if I said yes, and who knows what afterwards. And Here we are almost 3 seasons later.
Yeah, and there's an expected 7, which is quite incredible.
Yeah.
But as you say, playing Jesus has brought you what you needed in life. Watching Jesus has brought so many of us as viewers what we've needed. How has playing Jesus shaped and affected you?
It's deepened my own personal faith walk. I worked in the secular world in Hollywood for pretty much as long as I've been in the industry, and this is kind of my first time sort of being, my career going to a whole other level in an area that I'd never worked before, which is, faith entertainment. But the thing about this is, while it's kind of informed and helped with my own faith, it also happens to be a project and a series that you don't have to have any faith to appreciate it. You can be an atheist and love the show, and we get letters and messages from atheists all the time saying, I don't agree or line up with the theology, but I love the show, and I love these characters, and I love this Jesus guy. He's pretty cool. And just like, yeah, he is. You check him out. So I think it's I think that's kind of how it's really affected me in that way. And then the stories of the people who were going through dire circumstances, and they stumbled across the show. And the show, I met somebody in a parking lot. This guy, I just have to say thank you, because The Chosen, helped save my marriage.
Wow.
My wife and I were going through bad times, and we just started praying together more, and this show came along, and it kind of galvanized our prayer, and it gave us something to kind of watch together, and got the discussions going, and it saved our marriage. And it's like, well,
wow.
Glory to God. And so God is using the show to I think affect massive change in people's lives, personally and spiritually.
And people have said so much about how the human side of Jesus really shines alongside who he is as God. When you're playing him, do you feel like you almost, in your own life, then have to be kind of more Christ-like, because you're so aware and so you inhabit so much of who Jesus is on screen? Does that then affect the way you want to live off screen as well?
It does, but not in any obligatory sense. It does that just automatically. It makes me want to be a better person. The more time you spend studying Jesus and reading his words and listening to what he actually said, and reading what he actually said to people, and how he changed the course of human history, the more you start to fall in love with this person and Jesus, and the more you want to just be a better person. I don't think you can, as an actor, in general, whatever the show that I'm doing, I tend to approach roles from a sense of truth. How can I relate the truth of me, Jonathan, to this character? I might not be a British heroin addict, but I need to find a truth in there that I can bring to that character, so that it makes it feel that my performance is authentic. How do you do that with Jesus? Well, I try to live more of an authentic life, aspiring to the attitudes of holiness, and when I do that, I can then bring that into the truth that I bring to the role. If I'm off, doing God knows what on the side in my personal life and acting a fool, I can't in good conscience bring truthfulness to the role. And then it just becomes a lie and a facade, and people see right through that. Audiences now are so savvy. They know when somebody isn't being authentic. And so it's just made me want to be better.
It's so good. And in bringing that human side, why do you think it's important that we see Jesus as human and not only as divine?
Because he was human. He was 100% human without sin, and he was 100% divine. That is the mystery of God in human form as the person of Jesus Christ. So he was human. He was human because he wanted to give us the opportunity to know that he did what we do, and then some, So we have somebody to relate to now, knowing that he had the human experience. And so we can always call on him and rely on him, knowing that he suffered like we suffered. He laughed like we laughed. And we just get to show the stuff that people don't actually think of. Like, well, he probably danced at parties.
Yeah.
He was Jewish. Jews love to party. I'm sorry. They love a good time. They love to eat. They love to live life to the fullest. And Jesus was no different, being part of that culture.
Yeah, there's a fun to it. And I got to know, season 3 just about to launch. What was a highlight of this season for you to shoot?
I don't know how much I can say without giving away any spoilers.
Yeah, well,
the
we know
stuff
the
that I
feeding of
can't
the
talk
5,000
about
happens.
Yeah, that's true. You do know about it. That was amazing. But there's other even smaller scenes, physically smaller scenes that were just a joy for me to work on, and stuff that I think people are just really going to dig into, and the level, the production quality is leveled up even from season 2, and we didn't think that was possible. So season 3 is going to melt people's faces off.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it.